Hi everyone, happy new year. Today we are bringing in the new year with a helpful video. I want to show you guys how to bleach the knots on your lace wigs so that your wig can look natural for the new year. So if you are unfamiliar with knots, this is how your knots look on your lace wigs. You can see them right at the lace. When they're bleached, you won't see those knots. So let's talk about the different types of knots. The first knots I really don't care for are the double knots. These knots are bigger, they are harder to bleach. So if your wig have these type of knots, it will be harder to bleach them the way you want. Single knots look like this. They are smaller, and these are the ones that will give you a more natural appearance. So if you ever had a hard time getting the knots to bleach properly, it's most likely because they were not single knots. So these are the best knots, and in the description box, let's jump right into this. You're going to need some type of bleach powder. This is the Clairol BW2, and I like to use 20 developer. If you are a beginner, please only go to 20. The higher the developer, the lighter the knots will be, and depending on your complexion, it would depend on what color you need your knots to be. When mixing your bleach, always go by the directions. For me, I did not have that much developer left, so I just put the rest in there, as you guys can see, but always follow the directions on how much to mix. If I am using a hair bleach that is white, I will add a little bit of purple hair dye into it. This helps to tone down any brassiness that may occur when I bleach the knots. However, they do have the bleach powders that already come purple, so if you can get one of those, it will help tremendously. Later on, I'm going to give you guys more tips about that so you can understand the bleaching process a little bit better, but let's jump right into bleaching this wig. Now, this wig is a beautiful deep curly or curly wig, and I really love the texture of it. So as you can see, the knots are not bleached. This is how the front hairline looks on the wigs. This is how it will come. This is a light brown lace, I believe. If not, I will link it below. This is how the knots will come if you decide to purchase this wig. So step one would be to protect the hair. I like to spray the hair with a little bit of oil or water. So if any of that bleach seep through, it will protect the hair. You want to turn your wig inside out for this, and you can do this off of the canvas head. You do not have to do it like this. I just choose to do it like this just because I want you all to be able to see. So I am pinning this to a canvas head. I'm making sure any stray hairs is out the way. Now you want to begin the bleach process. Your bleach should be already mixed up, and I like to start at the front of the hairline. This is where the single knots are, so this is where the most natural appearance is going to be. Now I do notice when bleaching the knots, the ones that are double are usually the ones that are more stubborn to take to the bleach because they are bigger. So you want to be more delicate with the single knots when applying the bleach, and when it comes to the double knots, you can kind of be a little bit more aggressive as how firm you press that bleach onto the cap. So you want to let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes. Time will vary depending on the hair. The color will also vary. So here is an example of how the knots will bleach from black all the way to a pale yellow, just depending on how long and how many sessions you do. So the hair normally starts at black. It goes to brown. It goes to red, brown, red, red, orange, orange, yellow, and then a pale yellow. These colors are not avoidable. So a lot of times when people get their knots, they say, oh, it looks orange. It looks brassy. You can use purple shampoos to tone the brassiness down. You can't avoid the colors that it's going to change. This is just the natural bleaching process, just like if you were to bleach your hair. Once you get your desired color, it's time to wash your hair. I do have a full video routine on how to wash a wig. Be sure to check that out. So this is how the knots took on this particular wig. I'm just going to go through and kind of tweeze away any of them that did not properly bleach, because there is hit and misses when it comes to bleaching, and I did not want to go over it again, because when you go over it with bleach too many times, you can get a little bit of shedding. I've never had that happen, but I have heard other people say that it does happen. So once I've plucked this hairline, this is how the outcome is. So now we're just going to go ahead and apply this wig. Now I did not have time to let this wig dry in its curly state, so what I did is I went on and I kind of did a blowout on it. So I just want you guys to see how this wig will come. When you get it, it will be curly.